Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English podcast with Mandy and Mark. I'm Mandy, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Mark.
Hey there, everyone. It's great to be here with you all again. We're excited to dive into today's topic and help you boost your English skills.
Today, we'll be focusing on something everyone can relate to, daily routines. This is a great topic for beginners because it involves practical vocabulary that you can use every single day.
We'll be sharing useful phrases and expressions to help you talk about your own routine, as well as understand others' routines. Make sure to stay tuned until the end, where we'll have some interactive exercises to test your understanding. And don't forget to leave your answers in the comments section.
So, Mark, let's talk about routines. I'm a big believer in having a structured routine. It helps me stay organized and productive throughout the day. How about you? Do you consider yourself a creature of habit?
I definitely see the value in a good routine. I'm a bit more flexible with mine, but there are definitely some non-negotiables in my day. For example, I always start my morning with a cup of coffee and a bit of reading. It's a peaceful way to ease into the day before things get hectic.
That sounds lovely. I'm more of a tea person myself, but I totally agree about taking some quiet time in the morning. I like to do some light stretching and meditation before getting ready for work. It helps me clear my head and sets a positive tone for the day.
I like that. Incorporating some mindfulness into your routine is so important. What time do you usually wake up? I'm an early bird, usually up by 6 a.m.
I try to be up by 7 a.m. during the week, but I'll admit I like to sleep in a bit later on weekends. After my morning routine, I make breakfast, usually toast and fruit, and then head out the door to work.
Sounds pretty standard. I usually have a bigger breakfast, eggs, avocado toast, maybe some oatmeal. It keeps me energized for my morning workout.
Oh, you're making me hungry. I try to squeeze in a workout during my lunch break, but it doesn't always happen. My afternoons are usually packed with meetings and deadlines.
I hear you. Work can get pretty demanding. I'm lucky that my job allows me to have a flexible schedule. I usually wrap up by mid-afternoon, which gives me some time to run errands or relax before dinner.
That sounds nice. What sorts of errands do you typically run? I find myself going to the grocery store several times a week.
It varies, but usually things like picking up dry cleaning, going to the post office, or grabbing something from the store. Pretty standard stuff. Do you have any evening routines or rituals?
Absolutely. After work, I love to unwind with a good book or catch up on my favorite TV shows. It's my way of de-stressing after a long day. I'm also trying to be better about cooking more at home, so I've been experimenting with new recipes.
I love that. I've been trying to cook more at home, too. It's much healthier and more rewarding than ordering takeout all the time. Plus, it's a great way to wind down after a busy day.
Exactly. And it's always satisfying to enjoy a delicious home-cooked meal. What about you? Any evening activities you enjoy?
Well, I'm learning to play the guitar, so I try to practice for at least 30 minutes each evening. It's challenging but also really rewarding. Sometimes I'll watch a movie or catch up with friends online.
That's awesome. I've always wanted to learn a musical instrument. It sounds like you have a well-rounded evening routine.
I try to. It's all about finding a balance that works for you. I'm usually in bed by 11 p.m., ready to recharge for the next day.
Me too. I'm a firm believer in getting a good night's sleep. It makes a world of difference.
Couldn't agree more. A good night's sleep is essential for a productive day.
Well, Mark, this has been a really interesting conversation about daily routines. I think our listeners will find this topic super helpful for their everyday English conversations.
You're absolutely right, Mandy. Now, let's move on to some vocabulary that we used while discussing our daily routines. These are common words and phrases you'll hear and use frequently, so grab your notebooks and let's get started.
Great idea, Mark. Let's start with creature of habit. This phrase describes someone who likes to do the same things at the same time each day. For example, someone who always drinks coffee at 7 a.m. and goes for a run at 6 p.m. could be called a creature of habit.
That's a great explanation, Mandy. Another word we used was non-negotiables. In the context of a routine, This refers to the activities that you absolutely must do each day, no matter what. These are the things you prioritize and schedule your day around.
Right. Like brushing your teeth, that's a non-negotiable for most people. We also talked about winding down or de-stressing after work. This means doing something relaxing to relieve the stress and tension from the day.
Absolutely. Reading, listening to music, or taking a warm bath are all great ways to unwind. We also use the phrase catch up on, which means to do something that you haven't had time for recently. Like, I need to catch up on some sleep, or I'm going to catch up on my emails.
Yes, that's a very useful phrase. And how about squeeze in? We use this when we manage to fit something into a busy schedule. For instance, I try to squeeze in a quick workout during my lunch break.
That's a good one. Remember, to squeeze in is often used when we have a lot to do and limited time. Finally, we talked about running errands. This refers to doing small tasks outside the home, like going to the bank, the post office, or the grocery store.
Exactly. Running errands is a part of most people's daily or weekly routines. We hope these vocabulary explanations were helpful. Now you'll be better equipped to talk about your daily routines like a pro. That's right, Mark. Now it's time to put your listening skills to the test with a few exercises. Remember, the answers to these questions can all be found in our conversation.
Let's jump right in. First question. What does Mark always do before starting his workday?
Great question. And remember to share your answer in the comments below. Next question. What type of exercise does Mandy incorporate into her morning routine?
Good one, Mandy. Let's move on. What does Mark usually eat for breakfast?
Okay, next question. What activity does Mandy enjoy in the evenings to unwind?
Excellent question. Here's another one. What new hobby has Mark been trying to learn?
And last but not least, what time does Mark usually go to bed?
That was fun, right? We hope you enjoyed those exercises. Remember, practicing with questions like these is a great way to improve your comprehension and recall.
Exactly. And don't forget to check out the pinned comment for a bonus question from us. Today, we explored the topic of daily routines, learning useful vocabulary and phrases to describe our own schedules and understand others.
We talked about the importance of having a routine, the benefits of incorporating mindfulness and exercise, and different ways to unwind after a long day.
Remember, even small changes to your routine can make a big difference in your productivity and well-being. So why not try incorporating some of the tips and vocabulary we discussed today? That's all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us on the English podcast with Mandy and Mark. We hope you found it helpful and enjoyable. Don't forget to like this video if you did and subscribe to our channel for more English learning content. If you have any questions or suggestions for future episodes, leave them in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Until next time, happy English learning.